Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Krisiaki from Genially, and I will be your host for this exciting roundtable. As women, we can achieve amazing things, and we need to encourage each other, learn from each other, and support each other. Genially is an inspiration. That's why today we have invited three genius women to share their experience, insights, and advice for succeeding in the corporate world. We are sure that hearing these women leaders, as well as seeing what they have accomplished in their field, will inspire you to achieve your own goals. So they will introduce themselves. Let's start with Robin Sargent, CEO of Idol Courses.
Well, hi all. Thank you, Jeannie Lee, for having me. My name is Dr. Robin Sargent. I'm the owner and founder of Idol Courses Academy, and Idol Talent. And Idol Courses is the trade school that serves clients while developing that next generation of creative learning designers.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Robin. Let's start with Christy Oliva, Learning Program Manager at Amazon.
Hi, my name is Christy Oliva, and I'm a former teacher. 3 years ago, I left the classroom and entered the corporate world as an instructional designer. And now, as Christy has said, I work as a learning program manager for Amazon. And I'm also a guest faculty member and mentor for Idol Courses Academy, where I help people enter the instructional design field by guiding them to build their portfolios and learn about the tools of the trade, like Genially.
Great, amazing. And Gretchen Johansson, instructional designer at Zillow.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Just like Christy, I was in the classroom for almost 9.5 years before I made the transition out. And I became an instructional designer with the help of Idol Courses Academy, and have worked for great companies like Charter Communications, Google, and now I'm at Zillow as an instructional designer. And I'm also a guest mentor for Idol Courses Academy, helping others make a transition into the career of instructional design or just want to upskill.
This is amazing. I have to say that I really admire you all, and I'm very honored to have you here today with us. So, we will also love to hear from our audience, so drop us a message in the chat to let us know whereabouts in the world you're turning in from. And let's dive in. Hi Conchi, hi Rowan, hi Alicia. Oh my God, Atlanta, this is amazing. So let's dive in with our first question. As women, we often hear the word empower. But what does it really mean for you? What does empowerment mean in the context of the workplace and corporate future? Who would like to start?
I'm pretty fired up, actually. So I'll just, I just
so fired up and empowered.
I mean, I've just been mulling this over and really thinking about it and trying to distill what is it that I think that really empowers a woman in her life and specifically in the workplace. And I think it's not that women are incompetent. I think that a lot of women are lacking confidence. And I think that stems from a bunch of different areas, as early as where we are when we're trained. As we're younger, we are trained and we are rewarded for being good and not necessarily being energetic, or not necessarily rewarded for taking risks and taking chances. And so I think it starts pretty early, and it's taking risks and taking chances and taking action that builds confidence. And so for my main message is it's confidence in yourself and in some kind of skill and a feeling of mastery that then bleeds into other things that empower women. And I'd like to see more women gain more confidence in themselves.
Absolutely. Robin, I think you heard my or saw my note somewhere. I'm just kidding. You're like states away from me. But, I was going to say basically along the same lines. For me, women empowerment is taking that risk, right? So I transitioned out of education. That's scary. That was a safe career. It was a very safe career. I knew I was getting a paycheck and I knew my craft very well. And then to just say I'm going to change that career and hopefully be successful, I had to be a risk taker. I had to make that jump. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things for women empowerment. We're, like Robin said, we're not taught to take those risks. And so I'll encounter a lot of women who are scared to make this move or scared to make that move. And to them, I just say, do it scared. And you'll eventually get your confidence and you will feel empowered once you do make those moves. So I think being a risk taker is definitely the catalyst to women empowerment. So,
I love that word, like risk taker.
yeah.
I totally agree with you. Like someone feel very insecure, like they really want to do it, and then they don't know if it's actually who is going to say the other person. Like they start comparing herself with other people. Like
Yeah,
it is like they have to be risk taker for sure.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
Christy,
Yeah, I mean, to me, an empowered woman has to do with confidence. I agree about the risk taker as well, for sure. But for me, that confidence, not only in the skills that you currently have, but your opportunities for improvement, I think helps make you a really good leader as a woman. And oh, I'm getting some some echo. Um, and that confidence is just really important for us to not only build on our leadership skills, but to be transparent. It takes confidence to be transparent with our struggles, with how we are growing in our leadership skills and in our career. And honestly, that's one of the ways that I relate to my mentees in the Idle Courses Academy is I am known for my blunt transparency. And I think that can be refreshing, and people often tell me that I seem really confident when a lot of times maybe I'm not as confident as they think. But I think that transparency can come off as confidence. And it's something that's really important to help other women be able to take that risk, relating back to that risk taking. When they see other women doing it, they are then empowered to do the same.
Yeah, confidence is absolutely infectious. Just like you said,
Mhm.
Chrissy, like it bleeds into inspiring others. But when you find confidence by taking action to learn a new skill or do something else, it also bleeds into you building up confidence to try other things. Oh, I took this risk. It kind of worked out. Now I can have confidence to try other things where I don't know what the outcome is. And so I
and you
just
can
love that
ask
you
for help.
talked about that.
You can ask for help. You can ask another woman like who you admire, like how did
Yep.
you do that? How can I do that? Like it's not about competing with other women. Like I believe that this is something important. Like do not feel shy to be insecure. So I love it, girls. In some cases, it can be difficult to define oneself and to recognize one's achievement. What do you consider to be your greatest achievement?
I'll go first this time, ladies. Um,
Do it.
I think my greatest achievement has been making a successful transition in careers, because that was really scary. And I I feel confident in my skills now, and I love what I do. I never thought that I would feel the same way about another career as I did teaching, but I really love instructional design even more. And I just want to tell everyone that they should come and join this field. And I feel like being able to work for some of these top companies that I've been so lucky to work for has really been a great achievement for me. Not just personally, but for my family too. It's really changed my life financially, changed our family's life financially. And I just love trying to give that back to others who are seeking the same thing. And so I would say that this has been my greatest achievement so far.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
I'll piggyback on that because that's my same greatest achievement is, I also transitioned from teaching to instructional design and now into program management. Just the transition from teaching to corporate in general is just a big leap of confidence, of risk. It's all the things that we've been talking about. And at the time, I was a single mom, a newly single mom, and I was a teacher, and I didn't know what was going to happen with anything. And so taking that risk and having the confidence to just take the first step, which Robin was right there with me and gave me that confidence, just knew that I would have the support system. It all ties into what we're talking about today, because I never would have had that greatest accomplishment, that greatest achievement, if it weren't for the women that are in this call today. Gretchen was one of the people that I called. I think she was the first person I called when I got my first job offer as an ID. And Robin was my first call to, encourage me to join the academy and make that leap in the first place. So, and then I see a bunch of my mentees and people from Idol in the chat right now. It's just so cool to see this full circle moment of, the women who have built me up are here in this call as I'm answering this question about my greatest achievement that involves them so much. And then to be hopefully a part of the greatest achievement of the people who are attending this session. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Like, you are all friends and you know each other from a long time. This is amazing. I love that, because you have been like in every achievement that you had before. So, Robin.
Okay, well, I can answer the question, but I got to tell you, like, I'm getting in the feels a little bit because, hearing Gretchen tell her story and then Christy, and then just thinking about, well, what has been my greatest achievement? And I mean, it's like I said,
are we your greatest achievement, Robin?
I mean, it's sitting in front of me. The fact that, like, these, that I have been a part of creating a community and a culture and what is now an authorized trade school in a field that I think is the best in the entire world. I honestly do. I think this is the best career field in the entire world. The fact that we get to, like, get paid good money to, like, create learning experiences for people, I just, what? And the fact that I can empower more people to do this and change their lives, and the fact that most of it is women. I mean, we were talking before this show, and I think the Idol Courses Academy, while it is open to everybody, it's probably 95% women. And so to be a part of actively empowering women in what I think is the best career field in the world, and to start a new way of doing and training people in our field, which is through a vocational trade school. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And
and look at how it's empowering women, because Robin's greatest achievement is empowering women in and of itself. Like, how cool is that? And then Gretchen and I obviously feel that pull to give back and to pay it forward. And it is a really great feeling when that person calls you or they mention you on their LinkedIn job announcement, that you were part of that. It is one of the coolest feelings.
Yeah,
For sure. That's fantastic. Speaking about women empowering women, how can we as women empower another to support, inspire, and achieve the best we can? What do you think?
Well, I'll start this time since I haven't started yet. For me, it's all about an abundance mindset. And I've learned a lot about this from Robin, just because it'd be really easy, and it does get like kind of competitive in the ID world among people who seem like they're fighting for the same space, when really what I've learned from Robin is, you find your niche and you aren't necessarily like trying to pull from the same pool, so to say. And she's just so good at that. And so I think having that abundance mindset and knowing that we're not competitors, we're here to build each other up. And even though, in Idol Courses, everyone's going for an ID position. And I came into Idol Courses having that competitive mindset of like, oh, I'm not going to share, what job I'm going for, because what if they're going for the same job? And really, it's changed my mind as far as, that doesn't mean that just because they got the job that I was going for, that there's not a better job for me or a different job for me, or that it's lesser for me to see another woman succeed. And so that's one of the ways that I think is the best way for women to support other women, is to get rid of the competition and instead think in that abundance mindset.
Yeah, I totally agree, Christy. Along those lines, I was going to say we don't gatekeep, right? We share the secrets that got us to where we are because other people want to be there too. And so I feel like that being able to give back in the way that I'm giving back to the mentees is that we're helping to empower the next group of women to do the same to another group of women. It just starts to grow exponentially when you share how you did it, right? So just I think it's important not to gatekeep, because they're not secrets. There is an abundance of it, and having that scarcity mindset is a bitter root for a lot of women, and it squelches success. And so I would challenge you and empower you to change that mindset, that there is an abundance of opportunity in the instructional design world, or whatever field you choose, right? And to go for whatever your heart's desire. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, I'm the third one on the panel, so I got to answer, but gosh, you guys nailed it. I mean, that's where I'm with you 100%. So I'll just wrap up and tie up what Christy and Gretchen said. And is that when you think of other people as your co-collaborators, your co-creators, right? When you have an abundance mindset, then all the walls come down. It becomes very easy to support and empower other people, and especially to empower yourself, because you're not worried about somebody stealing your ideas. You're not worried about like not being better than them. You're not comparing yourself to someone else. And so when you remove that and you say that there is an abundance and I can ask these questions, and not only that, people, and especially, I mean, I found in the women circle, we love to help those. And we especially love to help those that know how to help themselves. The ones that show like, I've put in this amount of effort and I've come to this type of wall. How do I get over that wall? That's a beautiful place. And if you can come to another person and say, I've done my research and I've hit this wall, how can you help me come over that wall? You will find that people have been waiting for you to ask for help. It is. And I think that's probably just another part, like, know that there's an abundance, know that's what's for you is for you. If you're not going to run out of anything. And also people have been waiting for you to ask for help. And so don't be shy, and remove that barrier as well. And I guess that goes back to Christy's being vulnerable and being transparent as well.
Well, I love what you said about, people wait for you to ask for help. Like, I think a lot of times we are really afraid to ask for help, of like, oh, we're bothering them, or I'm going to look stupid or something like that. But really, I love when people ask me for help. Like, it makes me feel, selfishly, it makes me feel important and needed and smart myself. Like, so I enjoy helping other people. So when they're just like, oh, do you know how to do this? I'm like, I'll help you figure it out, because then we feel better together. And just helping someone, I think we look at it the wrong way, and we forget that when somebody asks us for help, we really do enjoy that. So I think that's a great point, Robin.
Yeah, we need to change that mindset. Like, people feel insecure and they believe that it ask stupid questions that are gonna make them look like, I don't know, stubborn, like something. I don't want to. I don't really want to ask that. I want to know them all and have all the knowledge of the world. But I'm reading the chat, and you have a lot of people who really love you.
I mean,
thank you very much. I love my speaker as well.
I'll Venmo you guys afterwards. No, I'm just
empowering me so many more. I'm cheering up to Dr. Robin. That's amazing.
Let's not talk about it.
Sharing is caring.
Charlie.
Sharing is caring. It is. Yes. Love that.
It is.
Aw.
Oh, look at these coming up on the screen. That's so cool.
Aw, thanks. That's sweet.
London
That
is calling.
warms my heart.
We have one question from the chat. Like, are there any advantages to a company with a diverse management team? What do you believe?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like this is almost like it's like a trope at this point. Like, I feel like it feels like to me, a no duh moment. Like, we've seen how much diversity adds. I think there's even statistics like I wish I knew what they were because I would just make them up. But but it's something like people who have a diverse team or women on their board do something like, and here comes my made up statistic, like 80% better in revenue or something like that than other boards. Or just think about even in the micro version of this question, just think about your own life, right? Like when you have a problem that you need to solve, what do? You get your best answers by going to a diverse amount of people to help you solve your problems. It's the same kind of thing in business and anywhere else. And so, I mean, I'm always, even in my own business, looking for, input from diverse voices and perspectives. And so I just can't imagine why you wouldn't want diversity at this point. I mean, it's proven.
Well, don't they say you're like the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with or something? I think about that quite often and I'm like, okay, who am I spending time with? Like, and diversity is a part of that. Like you don't want them all to be the same, vanilla people. Like I have people who are really out there in that circle. I have people who are more calming in that circle. And so they can help me, so that I can be the average. That's what I'm hoping for.
I like to describe it as gas and brakes. I'm gas and I keep people around me that are brakes because I'm like, let's go, 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 go. And they're like, oh, have you thought about this? Just on the brakes a little.
Oh, Katie. Love that. This is cool. This is what we decided to like bring this woman here. Genially inspiring.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to our fourth question. I like this one. Could you tell us about some woman who inspire you or that you admire?
Oh, when I saw this question for our prep work for this little webinar here, the first 2 that came to mind are here on the screen with me, and that's Christy and Dr. Robin Sargent. So I connected with Robin on social media before she launched Idle Courses, and she was giving like these little live little tutorials on instructional design and stuff. And I was like, man, she's so sparkly and I just want to get to know her and all these things. And there was just something captivating about her. And I was seeing what she was doing. And then she launched Idle Courses and I was like, oh, I need to get on board and check this out. And I've been with Idle since day one and I have seen it grow. I have seen how Robin has just like made this empire for people who want to be an instructional designer. She's like empowered so many people to change careers. She's offered, paid learning opportunities and, just all the things. And just seeing what she's been able to do with that being like, gosh, the first to break through in the industry. She's the first of this style of trade school for the instructional design industry. So she's breaking a lot of barriers and wow, it's amazing. And then for Christy, she's another fellow teacher and she's so ambitious and she really sets her mind to something and does it and gets it accomplished. And I just admire both of them so much for that. And being able to call them my friends and colleagues and, just all around know them in real life is amazing, and it feeds me and gives me encouragement to keep going on all the things that I want to do for myself beyond just be an instructional designer for a company. You know, like I have other goals that I would love to achieve, and I know surrounding myself with these two women and other women who have the same kind of mindset and goals, I'll be able to get it done.
What a wonderful words.
That was beautiful. I'll receive it.
Wash it over me. I mean, I agree. I was going to bring up, I feel like you set us up with that question, Christia. It was just like, oh, who are some women that empower you? Oh, okay. It's the ones on the call, right? But I mean, I think the reason why, let's look at the reason why Robin and Gretchen are mine. And, you know, me and Robin are Gretchen's. Like, I think if you look at the reasons why, it comes down to what we talked about earlier. It's that confidence and the ability to take risks. You know, Robin is increasingly, you know, doing different things with her company, and that takes risk, even starting the company in the first place, you know, and that takes confidence as well. And she's very transparent about the process. And then Gretchen, same thing. She's taken risks going to different positions, leaving the teaching profession, becoming my friend is a risk. But I mean, but she also shows such confidence. And I think what we need to hone in on, though, on this confidence piece is that sometimes it's blind confidence. You're just like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's the risk and the confidence coming together. But I'm confident enough in my skills and my support system around me that I can take this step, and that even if it doesn't work out, I can set myself up to still be able to pick up and move on afterwards.
I'm going to speak to that too. I know I could ask these two ladies anything, and they'll shoot straight with me. They'll tell me, it's a no-go, Gretchen, or, you know, why don't you try it this way instead, or think about this or that, or, well, that's a brilliant idea. So I know I'll always get honest feedback from both of them, and not just kind or nice feedback or kind feedback because they don't want to hurt my feelings. And, you know, I know it's not going to hurt my feelings because they're being truthful and honest. So I do appreciate that too.
Feedback makes you grow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
If I was to answer that question, I think my answer would have to include a lot of women, because for me, I've been inspired by several women along the way, and I could point to each one of them. But what's interesting when I look back on it is that all the women that have inspired me were women that pointed out to me that it's tied to a feeling of what I can achieve. Right. When I met at Shorter University, when I was like the assistant dean of students, right, I met a woman. Her name was Dr. Barbara, and she used to be, you know, a COO in a company, and then she became Dr. Barbara, and then she was like, you know, a dean at the university. I didn't even know that women were at the executive level back at that time, and that they could come in and be a dean of the university. And so it was a woman that she inspired me at a level that I could achieve. Like, it was somebody I met in real life. Like, oh, it's not just out there somewhere. I know her. I've met her. She's cool AF, and she's real. And that is really something that I can achieve. Right. And so she set, you know, a new inspiration for me. And which was that I said, well, I want to be like her. I want to go make money out in the corporate. And then I want to go get my PhD so I can, you know, come back and retire in the university system. And so that was like my first one. And then like the next one, it was another woman who was doing freelancing on the side as an instructional designer, right? Oh, I didn't know that I could achieve things like that. And then the next one was a woman business owner in the learning and development space. Oh, we can do that. We can have a business in the learning and development space, like a full-time business. And so I just say all that to say that there have been several women, and even today, you know, just seeing like what my students have come on to achieve. I mean, just pointing out like Christy and Gretchen have already shared their story, how they started out, you know, in teaching, and now they've become instructional designers, but to see their careers grow, to see like the impact that this has had. And so for me, It's been several women that inspire me, many more women that continue to inspire me. And it's really about how they each open up the windows to what we can achieve that makes it inspirational.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And this is, I think that you answer our next question, but this is fantastic. Like thinking, oh, we have Noelia here. So sometimes I wonder, do women set barriers you are on development? Like I should stop here, or I should like stop here.
I think so. I think she's asking if women's create their own barriers, and like instead of pushing past those barriers, they're just like, okay, this is as far as I can go. I think so. I think society has also created those barriers for us, um and as we learn those in life, because society teaches that to us, whether it be through parents or out in public, the media, we internalize it and say, oh, we can only go this far, and but it's not true. The sky's the limit for us. We just have to figure out how to do it. And to figure out how to do it, we need to surround ourselves with other people who have done what we want to do, right? Or have that idea of what we want to do. So I do really think that we create our own barriers. I think about all the time when we're encouraging others to apply for jobs, right? As a woman, I've looked at job descriptions and been like, oh, I can do almost everything except for this one thing on here. I won't get it. I'm not going to apply, right? And I know other women do that too. But I've seen men who aren't qualified, and they don't necessarily have the skill, but they think the job sounds cool and that they would like it, so they apply, right? And they're like, oh, if I get it, I get it, right? And I'll figure it out on the way. But women who will be overqualified and missing one little skill or thing that they're looking for will pass on it. And I think about that all the time, and I've really changed my mindset. Like, what's the worst that could happen if I apply for this job that I don't think I'm going to get? I won't have it. I already don't have it. So nothing bad is going to happen. But what if I get it? What if I get my dream job? I just landed my dream job at Zillow, right? I actually got rejected out of the application tracking system when I applied. And I went online and found the recruiters, and I messaged them. I was like, nope, your application tracking system rejected me, but I'm perfect for this job. And so please give me an interview. Here's my resume. Here's my portfolio. And I got the interview and I got the job. So I think we stand in our own way a lot of times. And that time I was like, nope, not standing.
Yeah, we put our own barriers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So we have more questions here. I'm reading the chat. This is on fire.
I think she is too.
That's not a question. That's facts.
Yeah.
How can business environments be improved to achieve real equality? How can each of us contribute to its achievement? This is great.
I honestly don't like the word equality. Like, I think we all bring a different skill set, whether it be according to our gender or even just our individual person. But I do think the way that we can contribute to the equality of women in the executive level and in the workplace of corporate is just to keep breaking those barriers. Like, as Gretchen pointed out when she went for her Zillow role, like, don't accept no for an answer, because if you know that you can achieve that and you know that you're going to be good at that, then there's not what's stopping you. So push through. And that's the same thing that I tell the teachers, the women. I mean, there's men in there as well, but let's talk to the women right now who are trying to move away from teaching, and they are just terrified because they've never done anything else and they don't have that confidence, and it's something new. And so I would just encourage you to just remove that barrier, that it's invisible. It's a barrier that, again, you're putting into place. Let's lift that up. Just, put your parking ticket in there and let the gate up and get out of there, because you don't need to be caught in that cycle of of whatever that was, because I had that equal fear. I was so scared to leave teaching. But now that I'm out, it again, that confidence that I built just really escalated, and now I don't have as much fear. Of course, I still have fear of the new and unknown, but I have gained that from that first risk I took. And so it builds on everything we've been talking about today, that once you take that first risk, you will gain the confidence to just move forward in all the other places. And so in order to do that, us women need to band together and make sure we're pushing through that glass ceiling and making sure there's no ceiling there any longer, and that we are just free to move up as we please.
Amazing answer, Christy. Really. So let's go to our fifth question. I think that you answered this before, but I also think that we need to hear things twice in order to get out of the cave. So, thinking about the next generation of women leaders who are watching us right now, what advice would you give to a young woman starting out in her career today?
Take a ton of risks. There are no barriers to what you can achieve, and I would encourage you to start taking action and just try all the things, because a lot of people struggle with trying to find out, like, oh, what's my passion, what's my purpose, what am I going to do in this life, and you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what you're going to be good at. You don't know what's going to feel good until you do things. So just get messy. Just try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that. And I think the more trying, the more action, the more places where you as a young woman can continue to put yourself in risky situations and taking chances. I don't mean like risky, don't like walk down dark alleys at night, but I mean as in things that are not, usually meant for girls, right? Or things that the outcome is unknown. That's what makes it risky, right? When there's the unknown factor. Take those risks, take those chances, start your business younger, right? Fail at your first business earlier. That's what I would encourage young women to do, and to reach out to those that have already been there and have achieved what you want to achieve. I think a lot of what we find as far as like what is going to be your passion and your purpose comes only through taking action and taking risks, that it really is a journey that unfolds. And the more that you can understand that at a younger age, then if you knew that you would be successful wildly successful by the time you got to your 40th no, right? People had to tell you no 40 times. Right? How would you approach receiving no? You'd be pretty excited about it. Be like, oh, I got number 20 no out of the way. I got number 30 no out of the way. Because I'm going to hit my huge goal, whatever kind of goals those look like for you, by the time I get to my 40 no. And that's what it is, right? You hit a level of confidence and security in yourself when you go through multiple rounds of risk and taking action. And so that's what I preach to those women. Start young and start doing that early, and get some financial literacy.
Yeah. And in addition to what Robin has said, I'm going to tell you to network with the people who are doing what you want to do, whether you want to be a graphic designer, whether you want to own your own business, whether you want to, be an instructional designer, or whatever your goal in life is to network with those people. Surround yourself with people who have the same kinds of goals that you have, and really take the advice of people who've been there, who have already failed multiple times and are offering their lessons learned to you, right? And take that advice. I've run into people who ask me how I did it or what I've done, and I tell them all the missteps that I've taken and how to get around them, and they just like, oh, that's nice, but then they don't do anything with it. So they're in the same place they were 3 years ago when I offered this advice to them. And then I see the people who have taken advice, right? Whether it be my advice or somebody else's advice for wherever it is they want to be. And gosh, the sky's the limit for them because they're achieving what they want to achieve. And so really come at it with a learning mindset, a growth mindset as well, in addition to being a risk taker, and learn all the things you can learn so that you can achieve your goals faster. Because I tell you what, I'm in my 40s and I wish I knew what I know now when I was in my 20s, because I feel like, I won't say wasted time, but I could have been a lot more successful a lot sooner had I known about instructional design in general and how to play the game to get where I want to get, right? And gosh, well, now I know, and now I'm doing it, but I wish I could have done it sooner. So it would have saved a lot of heartache and a lot of struggle. But yeah.
40 is a new 20, Gretchen.
Thank
Drop
you.
the mic.
Well, on that same note of like surrounding yourself with people, taking that risk, preparing for this webinar, I read an article in Forbes from 2019 that said, "A woman alone has power. Collectively, we have impact." And so I just really think that when we come together, I just think women are so powerful. We have this core of just energy and power that the world would stop turning without us. I truly believe that. And so think about that. We have that power. If we can harness it and not only do that, but connect it to other women, like that Forbes article said, we have impact. But in that same article, it goes on to reference some research from the Harvard Business Review. And it talked about how while both men and women benefit from having a network of their peers that we talked about, surrounding yourself with those people, women in particular also, if they have an inner circle of close female contacts, so this is different than like that networking contact circle. This is an inner circle of close female contacts, that they are more likely to land executive positions with greater authority and higher pay. The same correlation was not shown for men. So think about that. Not only do we need to have a peer circle that is really just empowering us, but having that close-knit group of female contacts that are, I just imagine, when you put like power sources together and how it like grows exponentially, that's just a huge deal. And the reason that they said that this is so true is that women who rise into leadership in those executive positions tend to face different types of hurdles than men do, right? Unconscious bias. And so it suggested that some of the ways to overcome these hurdles is to form those close connections so that they can not only share the experience they had when they were moving up, so women that have already made that level, but obviously if you have that close-knit group of friends that are going to encourage you no matter what, they're not going to be upset of your success because they think it's taking from their success. They have that abundance mindset. The sky's the limit. So it also answers that question somebody asked earlier of, how do we make sure that we have that more equality? Surround yourself with women and continue to build each other up, frog leap, whatever it's called, on each other and help each other get to that next level. Because helping each other get to that next level, think about it. Now you've just moved up one of those 5 people that's the average of you to a higher level. You just moved up your own average by empowering that woman that's in your circle. I just thought of that, and I just am mind blown by my own thoughts. I need to up my own average.
This is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Growth mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm here like watching the chat. So let's read some of the questions of our people because we're coming to an end of our time together. So we have Amal BRC. What is the first step toward changing career from teaching to instructional design?
Oh boy. Well, we have 2 former teachers. It doesn't even seem fair for me to start this answer.
I mean, obviously, we both went through Idol, so I think we're big advocates for the process that Idol takes you through. It's not just the friends we've made and all that, but it really is the process. There's a specific process that we take you through. It's the mentorship, it's the opportunities for actually using the tools. It's not just theory. It's because I got my master's degree at the same time I was going through Idol and finished it before I finished Idol. And I honestly don't use, I mean, I don't know what the percentages would be. Let's make up our own stats, as Robin said. Like, I bet you I'm using maybe 10% of what I learned in my master's, but I use every single day what I learned in Idol. So for me, that's the first step. But I think it's also just educating yourself what instructional design is. Like, if you don't know what that is yet, I think that's an important step so that you really can make an educated decision on your next step forward.
Yeah. And I like to tell people, especially if they're coming from that teaching career, that you already have a strong foundation. You already have that, because I know many teachers lack that confidence because they don't know what else they can do outside of teaching, right? The world has pigeonholed teachers and said that is all you can do. And they don't understand what it takes to do that job as a teacher. They think we're glorified babysitters, right? And we might throw in an activity or something here throughout the day. So that's not true. All the skills that you have as a teacher are in the job description of an instructional designer. What the hurdle is for you to convince people in corporate world that don't understand what teaching is, that you have those skills. And so if you understand what the hurdle is that you're going to encounter, you can, come up with a plan to jump over that hurdle. But I would say, in addition to what Christy said about learning a little bit more of what instructional design is and all that, go ahead and start knowing that you already have a very strong foundation, and having that foundation should give you confidence that you need to take that next step.
And we actually have this actually promotes both Genially and Idol, but it is actually a really easy way to get started just to see if instructional design is for you and the direction that you want to go in as a teacher. If you go to idolcourses.com/challenge, you can try our free Become an Idol challenge, and it's built in Genially. So you get to interact with a Genially lesson, and then also learn the basics of instructional design and what it is that you need to do to translate your skills to an instructional design skill set.
Yeah.
I built my first asset in Genially. I remember.
Really?
Skills. Yep.
I feel so proud. I love this tool. It's not because I'm in Genially, but I love this
so
tool.
easy. I mean, I know that you haven't asked us to talk about Genially at all, which is wonderful. But I mean, I really do. That's why we're here, I think, is because we also believe in the brand and the ease of use. And it does translate directly to this question of, getting that confidence and taking that risk. It is very low risk to try Genially, but there's high reward and gaining that confidence of like, oh, I can do this. I can make this, we call them assets, but I can make this course, I can make this video, I can make this interactive, whatever it is, to put forth this content to learners. And so, yeah, that was a great call out, Robin.
Yeah, Genially brings that wow effect to your creations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a pretty cool templates. But let's get focused on this. We have another question. I think this is the last one. How can we empower and support women of color in this field?
I think that it's the same for, forgive me for not directly, talking about color, but I would say that it's the same for women and color, and it's about granting access. It's like what Gretchen said. Can we remove some of the gatekeepers? Are there opportunities that, any people, minorities, people of color, people who just aren't in certain circles, right, or don't have access to certain social networks or whatever it is, I think it's more about getting that out there to support them in different ways. And that means, making education more accessible and the different opportunities, free resources, and things like that. And I'm sure that you guys have other things to add.
I would just say awareness too. I mean, we talk about instructional design all the time because we found it. But to be honest, I didn't even know that this topic existed, this industry existed out, before I fell into it. And so I think just awareness that this is a great career opportunity. I know many women of color have advanced degrees, and a lot of them go into education. So I don't know if they, what they know or if they even know about this industry, but I would say bringing awareness that, hey, there's another option. You don't have to be a public school teacher. You don't have to be teaching in a university. You can take your advanced degrees that you have and build a foundation from those in the instructional design world. So I would also add bringing awareness to the industry.
No.
Thank you very much, Gretchen.
Yeah.
So we are coming to the end of our time together. But before we go, do you have anything you would like to add, girls? It has been amazing having you here, really. Very inspiring.
Well, I would like to give a call to action because, since, we're here and we're talking about women, and I'd like you all to write down all the things that bother you, all of them. And then I'd like you to tear that ish up. And then I'd like you to write down all the things that you are grateful for instead. And I think that'll be your next step towards being a more empowered person, and specifically a woman.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea, Robin.
I'm going to say goal setting. I'm a huge goal person, and my mentees know this. I set weekly goals in my personal life, in my professional life, just like, what am I going to get done this week to help me get to whatever is the next level for me? And so I take that all the way from, in December, I start setting my next year's goals, and I then take them all the way down to, what then should I be accomplishing every month? What should I be accomplishing every week? How am I going to get to that bigger goal? And studies have shown that writing down a goal in your own handwriting is super powerful. And I don't know the number. Again, I can make it up, but I know that there's a high correlation between writing it down in your own handwriting and it actually coming to fruition. So that would be my best advice is right now, what is your scary, terrifying thing that you think, like Robin said, not possible? Write it down. And I bet you anything that you go look it up and somebody maybe has already even broken that barrier for you. And so it's not impossible. Write it down and start to think about what are the stepping stones to get me there.
And then tell an accountability partner, because it's so easy to write it down and then just be like, I'll just forget about it later. And, nobody knew I wrote it down, but, speak it into the universe and get an accountability partner or several, and, where you're all wanting to reach the same goal. So that's your other call to action. So you've got 3 things to do.
I will add to our Genially. You know that people who are watching us, if you register here, you will receive highlights, these highlights and amazing things that this woman just said, and your homework in a Genially, plus a Genially gift. So I will share with you everything, summarize, highlights, tips, advices, everything in just one Genially. So thank you very much. Today we have heard stories that inspire us and empower us. Remember that we are all in this together, and by supporting each other, we can achieve greatness. Let's continue to uplift, encourage, and inspire each other to be the best we can be. And thank you, Christy, Gretchen, Robin, for joining us today. And dear audience, I hope you found this webinar informative and valuable. This is very exciting for us as a company, and Genially is inspiring. So have a great day.
Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Genially. And thank you all for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Big hugs. Bye-bye.